Hello and welcome to another Win Daily show, but this is a special one. This is a very special Win Daily show. We have the NFL. It is back tonight. We have our defending champion Kansas City Chiefs going up against the Houston Texans, who they pretty much picked apart after a 24-0. Really will look like a terrible first half, turned into something incredible, but that was an amazing playoff game. I am Michael Raziel. I have my man David Stowe here with me. David, how excited are you for some football today?
Oh man, it's Christmas for me. I'm loving it. I'm ready to get started. I've been sitting here fooling around with lineups pretty much ever since the pricing came out. So I'm ready to go.
I love it, man. I am so excited for this game, and we are going to be breaking down this Thursday night game. We have a fun little showdown slate. It should be a lot of fun, at least, and we're excited. DraftKings is giving away a lot of money, so we appreciate the heck out of them. I say giving away as if they're not going to make money on tonight. I guess the joke is on me there, but I'm very excited for it. It should be an absolute blast, and I think we are going to have some fun tonight. So I'm just going to post this up in Discord so everybody can come hang out with us, and we are going to get to it. My man, let us throw this in. We are going to be checking out the DraftKings slate tonight. So that's the pricing we're being paying attention to. We're going to talk a little bit about the captain spot because this is a showdown slate. You get to pick that captain. So it's 1.5 times the points. It's also 1.5 times the dollars, which makes it a little bit more difficult. But a little about the game. We have, again, the Texans are going to Kansas City. Kansas City is actually allowed to have fans, I guess.
25%.
So I think it's something like 16,000 fans are actually going to be there. So I think there will be a little bit of noise. Obviously, not going to be anything like it is normally in Kansas City, where they routinely, them in Seattle are going back and forth for the decibel level. But should be a lot of fun. So we're going to have a little energy, going to have a little hype. So I'm excited about that. See fans in the stands. But we have the over-under at a very nice 53.5, which means we are going to be rooting for a lot of points. And we do have the Chiefs at minus 9.5. So the Texans are underdogs by 9.5 points, which is a lot, especially to start out. So we're excited for that. But David, let's talk about this slate a little bit. We got our captain spot. We either got to get, very boring with it and go with one of those quarterbacks or one of those high-end wide receivers, or we got to get a little contrarian. So talk to me a little bit. Walk me through the process of thinking through this captain spot, specifically on the first night of NFL football.
On the first night, I think we probably need to go ahead and stay away from the quarterbacks if you're talking about tournament play. I mean, if you're playing cash for some reason, if you're a glutton for punishment, that's fine. You can pick one of the quarterbacks and be happy with it. But the thing that you were going to want to do for your captain spot is kind of get a little bit weird. I mean, you're fine with Kelsey and Tyreek Hill and guys like that, but who I'm kind of looking at is Randall Cobb, Kenny Stills, and Darrell Williams. I'm especially interested in Darrell Williams because it pretty much unlocks your lineup anywhere and everywhere. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's a fantastic talent. There's no doubt about it. But you got to think there was next to nothing going on as far as training camps go. These guys didn't get the reps. Williams has been there for a while. I have an expectation of him picking up a lot of the third down reps and getting more work than what you would actually think that he's going to be getting, given all the hype that's been pumped up for Clyde.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I mean, everybody's on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Once Damian Williams was out, he pretty much went first round in every single draft. I mean, he was going very early second round before that. Now he immediately started going first round, so we know the public is on him. And I think you make a good point. And I think our writer Antonio made the same point in the Thursday Showdown Throwdown article that, if you want, you have to get weird. Everybody's going to be playing tonight just because NFL's back. And if you go with one of the quarterbacks, you're going to be like everybody else. And you can't. It's just going to be very frustrating to try and build a lineup that's really going to crack that top 10, top 5, top 1 that we're looking for, because we're trying to win some money tonight. So I do like the play of Darrell Williams, where, as you said, it unlocks the rest of your lineup, and it also has the opportunity. He's probably going to be on the field for about 50% of the game, if not a little more, a little less. He'll be up there in shares. So I think he's going to catch some balls. I think he has the opportunity to run in a couple touchdowns. And if you can get weird with it like that, it really does unlock the lineup. So let's go with Darrell Williams. We'll come back to the rest of the lineup if we do go with someone like Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, one of these other guys. But in terms of going with Darrell Williams, Where do you then go from there? Because again, you almost have 10K per player left, making this a much easier way of building a couple lineups.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I mean, I think, Mahomes and Watson are going to be the two highest raw points totals. So it makes perfect sense to have both of those guys in there today because it's going to be a shootout.
Mm-hmm.
And, they like to sling it. And especially Houston, they're going to be behind quick. It's I don't know. Their offensive line was pretty bad last year, and I did not see them do anything to really improve it.
Nope.
So those two is pretty much automatic. And then with Brandon Cooks, and we were actually talking about that. We don't even know if he's going to play. He already has a soft tissue injury.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves you either Kenny Stills or Randall Cobb. Yeah. And of those two, I kind of like Randall Cobb because he has a habit of getting open when the plays break down, and that's kind of what Watson does. I kind of look at Stills as running the deeper route stuff, and I don't particularly think that he's going to have time to get to a ton of those. He's going to be spending a lot of time throwing it underneath. So I prefer Cobb out of those two. And then let me see, that leaves us with pretty much full reign of everything we could possibly want.
We can literally grab everybody. If we do grab Tyreek Hill here, that then leaves us, we can't grab Kelsey or Hilaire. But if we stay away from Tyreek Hill, you can pretty much grab anybody at this point. And again, that is why it is fantastic if you do go with Darrell Williams. As you said, it unlocks the entire lineup for you, which is absolutely fantastic.
And that actually lines up quite perfectly because that also leaves you with Will Fuller, the upside threat, right there. That leaves you 8,300 if you, right there.
Bang.
And I think that looks pretty good. I mean, you're playing the Houston side of the ball, assuming that they're going to be playing from behind, and you're also correlating well with Darrell Williams, expecting him to start to carry the ball a little bit more later on in the game if they do get that big lead. So everything right there looks like it fits fantastic.
Looks nice to me, man. It looks nice to me. And I do think, obviously, if you do, as you said before, if you do want to lean Kenny Stills, I agree with you. And our good guy over here, Nick Bretwich at Sticks Picks, he is a huge fan of Randall Cobb tonight specifically and moving forward, especially out of the slot. But with Brandon Cooks being questionable, that's going to open up a lot of targets and we can see some other opportunities coming down. So we'll see what happens. Again, if you want to go with Clyde Edwards-Helaire at some point in here, I think it can make sense. If you want to go with Kelsey over Tyreek Hill, can't really blame you. I think he is technically, at least in my opinion, the number one receiver there in Kansas City, so you can't really get too angry. But again, going with Darrell Williams, if you believe in that opportunity where he will be on the field enough and potentially score that touchdown, get a few rushing yards and maybe a catch or two, that unlocks the entire lineup and it lets you pretty much do whatever you want at that point. So I do love this build here, but now let's do something that's a little bit more. Now let's get, I guess a little bit more boring with it, right? Let's go with, one of these four top guys, Mahomes, Watson, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people going with a captain out of one of those four. So let's just do it. Let's see what happens. Let's kind of be like everybody else and try and be a little contrarian with it. If you're going to grab one of these top four guys as your captain, who would you prefer out of this group?
Out of the four, I'd like to give myself a little bit of salary relief because these guys are all priced up crazy. So give me Kelsey out of those. I think he's going to get plenty of targets. I know he was a limited participant in practice, but he's been cleared. I know he had a little bit of a knee issue, but I think he's going to be fine. I think it was just maintenance. I don't have a lot of concerns there. So Kelsey would be my guy. I think he's going to get plenty of targets tonight. And like you said, he's just as much a 1A, 1B with Tyreek Hill. I mean, he's fine. You can't go wrong with either one.
Exactly. And it does save you a little bit of salary, obviously. At least it's not the $18,000 you would have paid for Mahomes. So if you do go with Kelsey here, let's say, do you then slot in both these quarterbacks? Because man, you're dumpster diving at that point. Do you pick one or the other? How do you then go about trying to create a lineup if you do go with a little bit more of a higher price guy at that captain spot?
I mean, you either have to go completely dumpster diving or you're going to have to leave one of these quarterbacks out. And as much as I love Mahomes and I think he's going to tear him up, I think Watson is going to be throwing the ball a whole lot more through all four quarters.
Mhm.
And so I'd have to take Watson. Plus, you get a little bit of the scrambling, a little bit of the running. He might rush one in. So of the two, I'd go ahead and do Watson this time.
I love that. And then that then really lines up well. Again, we still like Randall Cobb. So
Mm-hmm.
that lines up really well. So again, you save a little bit of salary. So let's talk here. We have about 6,700 per player left over. We have three guys. Are you going down any further to grab some of that salary relief, or are you just going to try and jam some of these 6K guys in as much as you can?
Now, if you want to get weird as far as tournaments go, that's one way you can do it. You can still
Mhm.
pay way down and leave yourself more salary than you usually would. Leave yourself $2,000 or even more on a showdown slate. That's another way that you can differentiate yourself. So, Darrell Williams also, let me see. You could also look at somebody like Fells
Mhm.
because he's a pretty good tight end, and he's been getting better over the last couple of years. And I don't think a lot of people are going to be on him. And they were discussing using the tight ends a little bit more this season,
Okay.
and that would kind of line up with them wanting to get rid of the ball a little bit quicker. So it makes sense for somebody like a Fells to get him in there, and then that leaves you 14,000,
And
and
then we could just go grab
you.
Mahomes if we wanted, really, at that point. So
Yeah,
we
yeah, actually you can. It
so
does work out. So you can throw
so
Mahomes in there, and you still have a little bit left over to keep your lineup contrarian.
So let's take Williams out because at 1,800 it's kind of a cheat code.
It really
How
is.
about that? Yeah, let's take him out and let's see. So if you do go Fells here, you're still left with almost 8K left over, right? Like you can you can snag Will Fuller if you still wanted, right? You can
Mhm.
still snag him. You have 7,800 per player left over. So if you want to go David Johnson, if you think he's going to have a good game, I think that's an opportunity there. If you still, as you said, you wanted to save a couple bucks or leave a little bit on the table, I mean, you could even go McCole Hardman at that point, and it still
Yeah,
leaves
yeah.
you with that 2,600 left over. So showdown slates are a lot of fun because we can get real weird and wacky. You have to get different. If you have a showdown slate where you essentially use all of the dollars, unlike we did before where we had Darrell Williams at the top, I think we were left with about 300 left over. Usually
Mhm.
don't like to see that in a showdown slate because that means a lot of people are most likely going to have that type of lineup because everyone's trying to use every dollar. But especially in the first game of the season, getting weird and wacky with it. Something like this, I mean, hopefully you're not putting in one lineup and it looks exactly like this. That might be a problem. Again, this is not
You
how
might
it works,
you'll be
but
sharing that top prize with like 200 different people.
exactly. So you got to have a few lineups in some of these, but you have to get weird. You have to get a little contrarian. I think, with the Super Bowl, just the last one, that last showdown, NFL showdown slate that we played, I think the person who won had Kyle Juszczyk as their captain, if I'm not mistaken, or tied with a couple other people. So you have to get weird with this stuff. And again, you want to go real dumpster diving, put both those quarterbacks in there. If you want to get wacky with it, put Darrell Williams in your captain slot. Guaranteed, not too many people will have that. Of course, they come over to here, Win Daily Sports, so they do know, they do pay attention to the article. They listen to David Stowe, they listen to Antonio and figure out maybe that is a good idea. But here, it's just another way to do it. It's another way to get a little weird and wacky with it. So I love it, man. This is absolutely fantastic. We do love doing this. But you know what else we love to do, David?
Props.
Yes, we
All
do. We
right.
love playing some props too. So our friends over at Monkey Knife Fight, we want to give them a nice shout out. Our good friend here, David Stowe, will be writing a Monkey Knife Fight article every single week, so you can go over to Monkey Knife Fight and win some money. But first, what you should do is log into monkeyknifefight.com, use promo code WINDAILY. They'll give you a matching offer up to $50. And then Win Daily Sports will give you 3 months free of our gold membership. So that alone is worth $90. If you match up to 50, that's $140 value. That's fantastic. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to help you win money with all the money that we just saved you, doubling, tripling. I mean, ROI, right? That's one thing we like to talk about in betting and in
Mhm.
DFS, your ROI, that you're not going to find this ROI anywhere else, people. We promise you that. You're not going to find this ROI anywhere else. So let's bring up the Monkey Knife Fight a little bit. So this is their rapid fire. So this is where we're going to pick who we think has more passing yards, receiving yards, rushing yards. And then there's a little bonus over here. So we think Deshaun Watson's going to get that plus 41. We think Travis
Mhm.
Kelce is going to get that plus 5.5. We see David Johnson getting plus 16.5 over these gentlemen up top. So David, talk to me a little bit. Who are you
Well,
thinking for passing yards?
for passing yards, I'm going to go with Watson with that 41.5 yard bonus. I think he's going to be throwing a whole lot more than Mahomes is. I have a feeling that Kansas City is going to run away with this early, and they're going to try and run the game out. That's my expectation on how this game is going to go. So
run the game out. So we're gonna look ahead to rushing in a second. So we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll see what you think there. But let's go with receiving yards. Two Kansas City guys. We have Travis Kelsey. We have Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelsey's getting a couple extra yards. I think a little 5.5 there. So how are you feeling with these receiving yards props?
a healthy Tyreek Hill, I'm going to have to go with him, even with the 5.5 yard bonus. Going towards Kelsey, he may only catch 3 or 4, but it will be, 3 receptions for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. Some crazy mess like that. And I've seen those stat lines from him on numerous occasions. Now Kelsey's going to get a lot of targets, but and he does put up some yards, but he's usually, he's your possession guy. He's going to catch a lot more. He'll break one out every once in a while. But as far as your yardage goes, I see Hill taking that one outright, even with the 5.5.
Yeah, I agree. 5.5 is really not enough to sway me there either. I would have went with Tyreek Hill. And then rushing yards, as you said, you feel like the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be up by a lot. You think they're going to run the ball out. So are you taking David Johnson with the plus 16.5, or are you just going to roll with Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
I'll stick with Helaire. I don't think he's going to get all the carries, but he's going to get enough. They're going to be running the ball enough in that second half, I feel. And I had David Johnson everywhere last year, and I know he was a little bit hurt, but even when he was on the field, he looks old. I don't know why they paid so much money for him. I think it was more they had to do something to trade away Nook, and that's all they had. That's what they had to do. They had to eat it, and I just think he's done. I don't even think he's going to be starting running back here by week 6 or 7. I really don't see it.
Duke Johnson takes over David Johnson. We'll see what happens there. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm hoping, man. I feel like he was a little hurt last year, and I think he said something. I don't actually know this. I'm just kind of saying stuff, but he must have said something to Cliff Kingsbury, because all of a sudden he was just in the doghouse and just wasn't even allowed on the field, which is pretty weird. Usually you'll at least put the guy on the field and spell Kenyon Drake a little bit. Didn't even let him on the field. So a little alarming there. So that is the first part of Monkey Knife Fight. We also, and thank you and shout out to our good friend, Zach Puck Picks. We love you, Zach. Brandon Cooks is active for tonight. So we might hop back to DraftKings just for a second, but we'll finish up with Monkey Knife Fight again. Go to monkeyknifefight.com, promo code WinDaily. They'll match up to $50, and then we'll give you 3 months free of Win Daily Sports Gold membership. So that's all our articles. That's hanging out with David Stowe in our expert chat. That's all of our projections. I mean, what more could you really ask for? We're here to help you win money, and we're going to help you win money with the free money that we just gave you, which I think, again, ROI, baby. That's what we're looking for, and we're going to give it to you. So let's hop back over to continue to stay here at Monkey Knife Fight. So the fantasy challenge, this is a fun one. You get to pick 3 players, and then you get to pick how many fantasy points you think they're going to get. And depending on how many they get, you either get 2, 3, or 5 times your prize. So let's just start. Number 1, who do you think, fantasy-wise, who are you picking in this matchup?
Tyreek Hill will be my first guy.
I love it. Okay.
And let me see. I like Randall Cobb. I think we all like Randall Cobb. Actually, you know what?
Oh, we're going to fade him?
Yeah, I think because of the Cooks news, I like it for DraftKings as far as reducing the ownership on Cobb, but it might hurt you as far as this goes. So let's go with Will Fuller on this one, because right now he is healthy.
Yeah, right. He is healthy. And one more. Give me one more.
Let's take a look. You want to see? Let's scroll back over to the front. Let's go ahead and go Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
All right. So that's all you do. You pick 3 members of whichever team, doesn't matter, and then you get to pick the goal. So do you think, are you feeling it that they're going to get that easy ×2? Are you really feeling it, and you think they're going to get that ×3? Or are you going to try and get real frisky and hope that Tyreek Hill does have those 3 catches for 140 yards and 3 touchdowns and go with that ×5 goal?
Well, I mean, you'll be talking scratching lottery tickets on that one, and our goal here isn't necessarily to try. We like for everybody to win money, but we don't want you to make stupid bets. So we want you guys to be successful and to get that ROI and to continue to grow your bankroll. So I would not go any more than the 3x goal today.
All right.
Even then, I'm kind of on the fence about it, but I think you'll be pretty safe doing that. I would not go with a goal of 70.5. I mean, if you want to run parlays like that, by all means, go for it. But we want you to be able to keep growing your bankroll.
That is our goal. We're trying to help you win daily. Every once in a while, it's fun to throw a shot like that in. Do not worry. We do that from time to time as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
But especially on the first night, let's not get too crazy. We think 60 and 61.5 is absolutely obtainable. If they hit 70 and we could have had times 5, that's great. But I'll take times 3 my money. Put $10 in, put the $50 that they're matching in, take home 150. So you went from 50 to 150 because we just helped you. David just helped you. And then you get the 90 because you put in promo code WinDaily on monkeyknifefight.com and you got 3 months free, and that's another 90 on top of it. Now you're almost up to 250. That's a good day.
Oh,
Who's
yeah,
angry?
easy money.
Who's angry about that? Easy money. Exactly. We appreciate that, David. We appreciate that. So with this Cooks news, let's just hop back to DraftKings for a second, because I am kind of curious. As you said, you think the good thing that will happen is the ownership on Randall Cobb will come down a little bit. Do you think it's, again, with this weird slate? I mean, how much do you think the ownership on Cooks will be? Because maybe even we take out Fuller and throw in Cooks here potentially just as an opportunity. Like, do you think that makes sense anywhere in this universe, or are you just going to try and fade Cooks no matter what? Because again, it's a soft tissue injury. He comes out, bursts his speed, bang, he's done. Like, it doesn't even matter.
Now, I wouldn't mind, because I think you will get some pretty good ownership on Cooks, because everybody knows that this injury is going on, and to be a week 1, game time decision, that's going to reduce your ownership a lot. So if you want to put him, if you're doing MME, it wouldn't be a bad idea to throw him in a couple of spots over a Fuller, or to take a Cobb out and mix him in there. But I would not lean on him heavily. Like you said, the soft tissue injury it's not good to have it this early in the season, because those things tend to linger. And these guys have had these shortened training camps, and their bodies haven't had a chance to really get acclimated yet. So I'm just, he worries me a little bit still. But as far as leveraging the field, I think you'd be in pretty good shape throwing him in a couple of spots.
Exactly. That's what we have to do. Again, we're not putting in one lineup normally. I mean, if you're doing single entry, yes, stay away from Cooks.
Absolutely.
Unless you're really crazy and you want to get that ownership, because he's probably not going to be in any of those lineups. But let's make you some money. That's what we're here to do. That's what David and I are here to do, and that's why we're here to help. So, David, where can everybody find you on the internet?
You can find me at Stoweby, Stoweby, on Twitter. If you want to hit me up on Facebook, just look me up, David Stowe. I'm easy to find. I'll go ahead and add you. So one of those two places, and on Discord. I'm always on Discord.
I was going to say, I know one place where I can find you every day, and that is in the WinDaily Discord chat. And again, if you go to our friends over at Monkey Knife, use promo code WinDaily. That then gets you 3 months to our expert chat, where you get to hang out with David for NFL, and Nick and Antonio and the incredible team, Adam. And then don't forget, baseball's still on. Baseball slate actually locks in a couple minutes. So you could go get some baseball information too. David helps us out with baseball. David also helps us out with basketball. Basketball locks in a couple minutes as well. So you get 3 months free. It's not just NFL. It's the entire
it's everything.
You get everything. And you get me too, but you get me for free just because I love doing this stuff so much. So,
this is fantastic. I love doing this stuff.
Appreciate you, brother. So for David, for everybody here on the WinDaily Sports family, you can find me at Michael Raziel1. Make sure to follow us at WinDaily Sports. We hope you make it a very profitable first night of the NFL season. Thank you so much, everybody.